You won 4 WNBA championships. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it. And then y'all wonder what happened. See, remember when I was on the air on ESPN and I got into it with Monica McNutt?
This wasn't supposed to happen. The WNBA had momentum. Caitlin Clark was in the spotlight. And then the commissioner stepped in. What happened next shocked fans, divided the league, and even pushed Stephen A. Smith to his breaking point. Critics say this wasn't leadership, it was control. Caitlin Clark was benched, quietly warned, and subtly pressured behind closed doors. No public statements, no clear defense, just restrictions and scrutiny. And that's when Stephen A. Smith erupted. Stay with this story because it exposes what the league doesn't want on the record. Behind every major decision, there's power. And in this case, every finger points to one office. Fans noticed something was off. Clark, the league's brightest star, suddenly faced limits on her freedom, constant scrutiny, and silence from the very top. No support, no defense, just quiet warnings behind closed doors.
She accused me of that, right? No problem. Then we go on to acknowledge there are many others who didn't do enough of a job of promoting the WNBA. You know why we didn't do a better job of promoting the WNBA? Because the numbers, the eyeballs, the interest, the sizzle, the headlines were not there. No one cared. The public didn't care. And so now you have somebody, that has the world caring, and you say to her, well, you know what? We want to make purely basketball decisions.
This wasn't supposed to happen. The WNBA had momentum. Caitlin Clark was dominating the spotlight, and then the commissioner stepped in. What happened next shocked fans, divided the league, and pushed even Stephen A. Smith to the edge. Critics weren't calling it leadership. They called it control. Clark was benched, quietly warned, and subtly pressured behind closed doors. No public statements, no defense, just scrutiny and restrictions. And that's when the outrage exploded. Behind every major league decision, there's power. And in this case, all eyes turned to one office. Fans noticed something was off. Clark, the league's brightest star, suddenly faced limits on her freedom, constant oversight, and silence from the top. No support, no explanation, just quiet warnings behind closed doors.
Always been nothing but class and nice to me. I'm only addressing a point. How do you talk about the Indiana Fever and mention a multitude of players, and now one of them is Caitlin Clark, who, by the way, as a rookie, is leading the league in assists? How do you do that? How do you do that? I told y'all that. I've argued with the great Andrea Carter, outstanding analyst for ESPN, right here on this podcast. I've argued with Janae Ogumake, who's an outstanding basketball analyst. The two of them together, oh my God, that's an A team. No doubt about it. Nothing.
This wasn't supposed to happen. The WNBA had momentum. Caitlin Clark was the center of attention, and then the commissioner intervened. What followed shocked fans, split the league, and even pushed Stephen A. Smith to his breaking point. Critics say this wasn't leadership, it was control. Clark found herself benched, subtly warned, and pressured behind closed doors. No public support, no explanation, just quiet restrictions and constant scrutiny. Every league move carries power, and in this case, all eyes turned to the commissioner's office. Fans noticed something was off. The league's brightest star was suddenly limited, watched, and silenced. No defense, no transparency, just quiet, calculated control behind the scenes.
Business, it is so unfortunate that the WNBA has dropped the ball in this major way. I already showed you Stephon Diggs and all the NFL players getting custom Caitlin Clark cleats. All the NBA players on the Pelicans rocking the shoes. I already showed you. Caitlin Clark is taking.
And don't act surprised when the fans fight back. The backlash hit immediately. People weren't confused anymore. They saw the pattern. Hard fouls overlooked. Physical play tolerated. Caitlin takes it all. But the moment she pushes back, warnings fly. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. He called it exactly what it was. The commissioner seems more focused on controlling Caitlin Clark than actually protecting her.
Doing so much for women's basketball everywhere that deserve their praise. She was absolutely right in saying that. We don't disagree, but that's utopia. Reality is it didn't happen to this level until Caitlin Clark showed up. Call it the Great White Hope. Call it white being right. Call it whatever you want. See, I'm a person that doesn't, I recognize that reality, but I don't resent it. I figure out ways to do it to my advantage. I ain't apologize for that, Wes. I ain't apologize for that, Griff. I ain't apologize for that, Galen. I ain't apologize for nothing. There are people in our industry.
And don't act surprised when the fans erupted. The backlash was immediate. People saw the pattern: brutal fouls ignored, physical play let slide, and Caitlin taking it all. But the second she reacts, warnings drop. Stephen A. Smith called it straight. The commissioner looks more interested in controlling Caitlin Clark than actually protecting her. Interview.
How she feel about Aerial Powers and the new players, the Shea Petties that came in. And it seemed like the overall energy and the overall vibe was good. You know, like there was no anger, there was no animosity and all of this stuff. And it seems that Caitlin Clark did enjoy the people, and as much as we don't like the higher ups in the front office in Indiana, it seems like Caitlin Clark doesn't have a issue with them. You know what I mean? So I think that might be something we just gonna have to look. We're gonna have to give them this offseason. We just gotta let them do it. We just have Caitlin seems okay with it. She seems okay with everything. So I don't know, you know, I guess we just got to let it play out. We got to let it play out. And that's just that. That's just that. You know, if she not tripping, I guess we can't necessarily.
You can't grow a league by shrinking its loudest voice. You can't demand loyalty if you give none in return. And you absolutely can't threaten suspension while fans are already questioning leadership. Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. He called out the commissioner publicly, forcefully, and without an ounce of apology. The story isn't finished yet, but the message is crystal clear. Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. Fear of losing control is. Smith made one thing undeniable. If the WNBA commissioner keeps treating stars like liabilities instead of leaders, the league won't fail in the news. It'll fail in silence.